Let's get into the Azure portal and create the sample Azure container apps. To get to the container apps, simply search container apps in the Azure search bar as shown and select the service from the results. You will see a create button at the top left. Clicking this gives you two choices, container app and container app job. If you choose container app, you are setting up a long-running microservice or API, something that stays active, responds to HTTP traffic, scales automatically, and is designed for continuous workloads. This is perfect when you need a containerized application that behaves like a service. On the other hand, if you choose container app job, you are creating a job that runs for a limited time, ideal for background tasks, scheduled processes, or event-driven jobs that execute once and then stop. You typically use this when your app needs to perform a task like cleaning up data, processing a queue item, or running a batch job. Both options give you the flexibility of serverless containers, but you'll want to select the one that aligns with how your application should behave, persistent or task-based. Let's select the first option in this case. On this page, you are beginning the process of creating a container app in Azure using the Basics tab. First, you select the subscription under which the container app will be built and choose a resource group to organize your deployment. Or you can create a new one if needed. Then, you provide a name for your container app, which will uniquely identify it within your environment. You also have the option to enable Optimize for Azure functions, which gives you built-in support for auto-scaling behavior similar to Azure functions. This is helpful if your container image is designed to run like a function and needs to react to events efficiently. Next, you select your deployment source. If you already have a built container image stored in a container registry, choose Container Image. Alternatively, you can deploy from source code or artifact if you want Azure to handle the container build for you. Further down, you configure the container apps environment. This defines the secure boundary for your app. You choose a region, such as Australia East, and either use an existing container apps environment or create a new one. This environment helps isolate and manage related container apps with shared networking and configuration. Once you complete this setup, you are ready to move on by clicking Next to continue defining your container settings. On this page, you are configuring the container settings for your app. Since the Use Quick Start image option is checked, you are starting with a pre-built image. In this case, the simple Hello World container, which helps you get a container up and running quickly without needing to upload your own image or write a Docker file. Under Container Resource Allocation, you are defining how much compute power your container will consume. The default profile is set to consumption, which means you are using a serverless pricing model that automatically scales based on demand. Here, your container is configured to use 0.25 vCPU and 0.5 gigabytes of memory, which is perfect for lightweight applications or prototypes. Next, you configure application ingress settings, which control how traffic reaches your container. With ingress enabled, your app will be accessible via HTTP, and Azure will accept incoming traffic from anywhere by default. You are also setting the target port 280, which is the standard port for web traffic. Once you are done reviewing these settings, you can either click Next, Tags to apply metadata, or go straight to Review plus Create to finalize and deploy your container app. This page helps you quickly launch a functional container app with minimal setup. In this case as well, confirmation screen appears. Simply click Create and this will deploy the container app's instance successfully. Now, go ahead, open up the Container Apps instance in the Azure portal and click on that application URL. There you go, your publicly accessible instance is up and running.